What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Indescribeabull, aka Geraldine Lake. I'm back with another video. Again, this is very personal to me, so I want to talk about it. Being a daddy's girl has been so difficult when it comes to dating. And daddy's girls watching this, I know you're going to understand exactly what I mean. In my last video, I talked a little bit about how, black girls aren't really given the space to learn how to date for real. We don't really know how to navigate dating and love and relationships. So when we're of age and we get in these relationships, we're 21, 22, 23, sometimes older, we be getting duped and bamboozled and manipulated. We end up with all these babies and we're not really sure of our worth or how to negotiate what it is that we want in relationships. And when I tell y'all my daddy helps a lot with that, let me tell you what I mean. It's very difficult for me to date somebody who is not a provider or who's not generous or who doesn't show up for me or who doesn't tell me the things that they like about me. If you're not supportive, if you are not my biggest fan, I can't deal with you. My parents have been married over 40 years. My dad has been there every step of the way. He was not perfect, neither was my mother, but they created a healthy, happy space for us. We knew we were loved. We knew we were cared for. We knew that we would be provided for. We wasn't confused about where the next meal was gonna come from. I saw them working cohesively as a team day in and day out. Now, that being said, if I didn't settle for lack, the bare minimum, insufficiency, failure to communicate, if I didn't have to settle for that in childhood, what makes you think at 36 I'm about to do that with a grown man? What makes you think that? And it's always so funny because when you try to explain this to certain people, the first thing they want you to do is lower your standards, right? Oh, well, nobody's gonna be perfect. Oh, well, you got to be able to teach and do that. Hey, go find your mama, okay? I'm not doing that. There are certain things that I'm willing to talk about, certain ways I'm willing to communicate to ensure that we have a healthy bond and that we're communicating and we're learning each other, because I understand you're not supposed to be a mind reader, but I'm not going to teach you how to use your eyes. I'm not going to teach you how to observe your surroundings and be aware. I'm not going to teach you how to read the room and pay attention. Not when I've had to do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm not interested in holding your hand and babying you to adulthood or through a committed relationship or through marriage. What do I look like having to explain to you how to pay bills, how to budget your money, how to maintain your living space? What do I look like? Oh, wait, a parent. And I don't want no kids for that very reason. I'm not interested in being fully responsible for the upbringing and the well-being of another person. I'm happy to be a partner to you. I'm happy for us to support each other and we chase our goals and dreams together, but I'm not about to raise you. That's a non-starter for me. Another reason why it's so hard for me to date being a daddy's girl, because I ain't really heard no a lot. I have not really heard the word no a lot. And let me give you some context, okay? I am very spoiled, but I also know how to take care of myself. I know how to take care of the people around me. I'm a good friend. I'm a good person to be with in a relationship. I know these things about myself. I'm very, very aware of the work that I have put in to be a good individual to anybody who comes into my life, okay? But if I call that man right now and I ask him for something, I know that it's gonna be yes or give me some time, because that's my daddy. Let me tell y'all a story. I was dating this guy, right? And he had a little bit of change or whatever, but he was just so aloof. He was not in tune to anything. I had been mentioning to him for a while. Well, he asked me something. I was driving back. I think I had a flight. I was driving back from the airport late at night, and I knew I had some issues with my car. One of my check engine light was on, and I wasn't sure what it was. So I said when I came back in town, I was going to fix it. Well, apparently I waited too late. So that check engine light, it made my car like make a little noise. I wasn't in any immediate danger. I was going to be able to make it to the house. But he called me on my way back from the airport and he asked me, he was like, yo, you good? And I was like, yeah, well, the car's making this noise. I'm a little concerned. I don't know what to do. I don't think that, it's going to blow up or something, but I, would like to know how to fix it or whatever. And he started laughing and he was like, well, I think just calm down, go to your house and then, you can try to look at it tomorrow. I said, I'm going to call my father. which is what I did. It had to be like 11 o'clock at night. I called my daddy house phone. I know my mama probably looked at him 13 different types of ways. I know she was like, I know damn well this phone is not ringing. But when they saw my number on the caller ID, I'm sure all was cool. But I called and my father answered. And I told him, you know, what was going on, whatever. He said, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. He gave me a list of things to check for. He said, get it to a mechanic. Let me know what they say. Because he, you know, he's pretty familiar with vehicles. And so he was like, well, just get the information, bring it to me, and, you know, let me know what they say. Cool. The next day, now I'm preparing to do this with my daddy, right? The next day, the guy that I'm supposed to be dating, you know, he calls me. He's like, hey, did you get your car fixed? No, not yet. No. And then he made fun of me, y'all. He was laughing. He was like, remember you thought everything was so scary and you thought something was going to happen and you called your dad and stuff? And I was like, this energy is a little dusty. I don't think I like this. I don't want to be with somebody who can see me having a problem and then just actively not try to work to fix it. And I even had asked him for a while. I knew before this, there was something going on. I think it was like spark plugs or ignition coils or something like that. And I asked him, I said, this was before I found my own mechanic. I said, do you know anybody who could possibly replace these or something like that? He was like, oh, I have a membership to this auto shop and I can just put you on my account and you can take the car up there, yada, 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 whatever. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let me know when we can make that happen. He says, okay. Never hear nothing else about it, okay? I was dating a guy one time who was like, I have a friend who has a custom detailing business. I want you to let me take it and get it cleaned up. I said, okay. Never heard nothing else about it. Like, I don't have the energy or the patience to deal with people who offer to do things and then never follow through. Because as soon as I come back to you and hold you accountable for that, I say, hey, you remember when you said you was going to do X, Y, and Z? Now I'm nagging and I got an attitude, okay? I don't like that. I don't want to have to nag. And it will never not baffle me that men think women enjoy telling them things 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 times. What makes you think I want to stand over you and make sure you do all the things that you said you were going to do? What makes you think that that is something that I enjoy? I continue to do it because I care. But I tell you one thing, though. One thing about me, once I'm done caring, you ain't ever got to hear my mouth again. That's the mark right there. So for anybody who's ever dealt with me and was like, oh, she complained, she nagged. Famous last words. Famous last words. You won't hear nothing else from me, big dog, because I don't like, it would be different, y'all, if I didn't have a model, right? It'd be different if I did not know what to expect. But I watched my daddy get up, work a couple of jobs sometimes to make sure we had food and the cars was running and we took vacations and he showed up to track meets and he showed up to pageants and recitals. I'm not saying it's like my dad did everything and my mom was nowhere to be found. I'm putting an emphasis on Black fatherhood because y'all are so necessary, especially in a society that was literally sculpted for Black women to fail. Black people in general, but if you are a Black woman in this country, there are literally no resources for you. Like, people don't care about you. They don't care about you in the medical system. They don't care about you in the business world. They don't care about you in finance. They don't care about you, okay? We just saw this with the DEI rollbacks. All them Black women, hundreds of thousands of Black women lost their jobs because of these DEI rollbacks. And it's gonna be F Target to the day we die, okay? I was never shopping at y'all funky store anyway, and I never will again. I hope you lose 20 billion more. I would be happy if you went out of business. That's me personally. But it is so important for Black fathers to be in the home, to be affirming their little Black girls. Raising your sons, teaching them how to be men, affirming your little Black girls, letting them know how they should be treated, what they should expect from a partnership. And then ladies too, like, stop beefing with your daughter. She's not your competition. She didn't ruin your life. Like, you made a decision to have that child. She's your responsibility. I never felt like a burden to my parents. Ever. I've never felt like that. So I can't relate when people have those conversations. What I do feel is encouraged and empowered and very confident in who I am because of sacrifices that they made to make sure that I knew that I deserve. Whatever I think I want, I deserve, right? So it's hard. It's hard to date as a daddy's girl. Because what do you mean you want me to give you something on the rent? What do you mean you want to go Dutch on the first date? What do you mean you don't have an answer for me? What do you mean there's no solution? What do you mean you can't figure it out? I come from a long line of figure-outers, okay? Can't relate. But anyway, if you love this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. Tag your friends, share it with your family or whatever. Leave a comment. Let me know what you'd like to see more of. And I really hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.